This e-learning lesson is going to cover adding procedures. We're going to look at adding a procedure for a single horse, both from the main screen and through the individual horse's file. And we're going to touch on the multiple horses feature, the reminders, and the triggers. The multiple horses, reminders, and triggers are covered in more detail in other lessons. So for this lesson, go to Wise Option. And the first part we're going to show is from the main screen, the procedure button. If you hover over that with your mouse, you can see that you can either click on this button or click F4 on your keyboard. I'm going to click the button, and this is our main procedure form. I can begin, you can see the cursor is there at horse. I can either begin typing in the horse's name. I can use my down arrow to get a list of all my horses. And you'll notice that it is active horses only. If you would like to bill from inactive horses, simply select Tools and add inactive horses to the list. You can see that now, if I have the same list, I have a great number more of horses in here than I used to. So all of my inactive horses have been added as well. Once I have the horse in the box that I'd like it to be, I will press Tab and select my task. For this, I am going to choose to bill a Coggins. And I know that my sort ID for Coggins is L-CO, and that will get me my Coggins. Again, you can also use your down arrow. Once I have my Coggins or my task entered, I can tab. As soon as I tab and select that task, it will suggest the professional as well as the unit price that I have set up in my task file for my Coggins. It's just a suggestion. You can change it if you'd like. I can have Dr. Stone pull this particular Coggins, and if we wanted to give him a discount of make it only be $30, we can change that there. I can change my date. It will default to today. I can either use my arrow buttons to change the dates. If I get too far away and I decide today is really what I'd like to do, I can select today. I can also click the calendar button and look at my calendar. Done in this sense means that it has actually been performed. Not yet billed, but performed. We said we would touch on reminders. If I schedule this as undone for some time in the future and save it, it's now a reminder. It's not been done. If we bill between now and the time that it's been done, the client won't be charged for it because it's not been set as done. We go back to today and click Done because this has been performed, or we're getting ready to perform it. The hide procedure will be covered in other chapters as well. The hide procedure will allow you to not show the procedure ever on an invoice for the client, but the computer will always know that it's here. Also with the hide comments, the same kind of thing. So once we have everything like we'd want it, we would simply click Save, and she would now be set as an unbilled procedure in this horse's file, and it will go on her medical record. That's how you do it if you'd like to do it from the main screen of Wise Option. I will show you for the same horse how I would go to her. I can either use Horse File to select her name. She's right there. Or I could use my quick search right here if I wanted. She's right here. I'm going to go to Procedures, and I'm going to go to Add Procedure. Anywhere that the Add Procedure button is, it will always come back here to this procedure form. Now, since I'm already in the horse's file, it will put her name in for the horse for me. So this is a little bit quicker if you're already doing something on her file to add it from here. Again, I'm going to do my Coggins. I can change this if I'd like. If I don't want to, I can simply hit Save. Procedure has been added, and there it is right there. If I need to change anything on that procedure, I can double click on it. This is the same thing that I've already done. It says that it was added, the time and date. I can change maybe to Dr. Stone and then save it. And it's now been updated to Dr. Stone as the professional. I can also remove it if I wish. So I can remove. Yes, I'm sure. Procedure's been deleted. Nothing has been affected in the customer's account at this point. So that's how you would do a single horse from both the main screen and the horse file. Now for the multiple horses, I'm going to go again to the procedure button on the main screen, and I'm going to click my multiple horses. This is a shortcut to the multiple horse entry form. I'm going to select the date, whether it's done or not, whether it needs to be a reminder, in other words, and maybe we did 8 Coggins on this day. I'm going to go down and select my Coggins as the task to be performed, and I can go through and select the horses which I pull the Coggins on. So if those are the horses that I pull the Coggins on today, I can go ahead and save this, and it will record all of those procedures on each one of the horse's files. Now, maybe it's something like a farrier. All of these perhaps had a trim done. So for me, I'd like to bill this trim, and then I would like to schedule them for 6 weeks. So I'm going to go up to Tools and a Form Holder Activation. I'm going to select that, and it is now going to hold my form open. I can save this. Again, I've selected my task. I've selected my horses, the date, and done. And I'm going to save. 1 task for 6 horses. That's what I'd like to do. I'll say yes. It's now added 6 procedures successfully. The form holder is active and it will stay open. So again, my task is still selected as well as my horses. So this will be an example of a reminder. Here's today. I'm going to go out. That's 4 weeks. That's 6 weeks. 418 would be 6 weeks. And I'll say get 418. I'm going to select it as undone because it's in the future. And I'm going to save it. And now these 6 horses will show up on either my daily worksheet or on my procedure manager based on which version you're running. And I will say yes. 6 more procedures has been added successfully. And now when I'm done with this, I can simply close this. So to give you an example of what that did, I will look up, this is the one horse that I just charged. Select their name, go to Procedures, and here's the recipient trim I just billed. If I uncheck my Done box, I have now, right here, the recent trim procedure that is set as undone in the future. So that's how that works. The last step we're going to cover briefly is the triggers. Again, I just clicked my procedure button. I'm going to go to Triggers. And here are a couple triggers that I've added. This one is for a foal that has just been born. And these are the tasks that I've set up. The first one is an IgG set as done for today. And then the other ones have been undone for a certain number of days out. And the way these are done is you would simply choose the horse you would like to apply this to. I'm going to pick this foal right here. Select the date, which my target date happens to be his birthday, so I can select the day he was born. And then I would simply hit Generate Procedures, and all 7 of these procedures would then be added to the horse's file. I also have one, for example, for a pregnant mare, so that when I know that she's in foal and she's been palpated as pregnant, we can then schedule her for all of her deworms and pneumoborts, as well as her checking palpations, pre-foaling, removing caslix if you wish, any other things you'd like to schedule her for. And from here, 5 months, this would be from my date of last breeding or her ovulation date. So I would backdate my date to her last breeding date, since that would be a couple of weeks before I palpated hers in full. Then I would simply generate procedures. So that's a brief overview of triggers. Triggers, multiple horses, and reminders are all covered in other lessons. So for this e-learning, you've covered how to add procedures, both from the main screen of WISE option as well as from the horse's file. And we've highlighted on multiple horses reminders and triggers.